Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel.
Hello guys, my name is Tabile and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today guys, we have a visitor. Visitor kopa o introduce.
Hello.
Lebitso la go kana mang? Lebitso la go kana mang?
My name is Masilo. Tita Dlap.
Okay. So the first question I'm gonna ask you,
Yes.
ke gore Ntate Masilo Tita Dlap. Ke kopa go jwetsa hanyane fela ka wena, your upbringing, how you grew up, jalo jalo.
Well, now I'm a born and bred son of the soil from Merafong, Kuzo, just the streets of an area called Sonorvader. Grew up in Kuzo South. Went to high school around, and then in a nutshell, and then pursued work, interest, and ambitions.
And when you say work interests and ambitions, what exactly are you referring to? Are you a businessman? What would you describe yourself as? Are you a businessman?
Well, right now, I'm both a businessman and a politician. In a nutshell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, what inspired you to develop or rather open a business?
Because I hated being an employee.
So you've been employed.
Yes. So waking up at 8, waking up, reporting at 8, leaving at 5 was just not working for me. But over and above that, material conditions pushed me to leave the 8 to 7 job and open a business or look for opportunities that can grow my business.
Okay, Ntate Masilo. So people here don't necessarily understand English kakalo. What if kuna le ntate menyana o sa itseng sekgowa you get? So when you say material conditions, what exactly are you referring to?
Well, my emo at the time could not allow me to stay in an 8 to 5 job. So in a sense that you could afford certain things you can't afford. So the 8 to 5 job made me afford only minimum things. So I needed certain things that only a business can be able to make me afford.
Okay. So have your priorities changed from when you first started?
Yes, they change. They change from starting a business to operating a business and to going through the challenges of a business. Your priorities change from time to time because you learn. You generally learn on different things that you need to apply. So as things change, the more the influences how your business operates, even its priorities thereof.
Okay. So what challenges did you have to overcome at the beginning of your journey? And please also include like the challenges you are also facing now as an entrepreneur, because now I get you're self-employed, and those are the things we have to look into should we want to take this route. So what challenges did you have to overcome?
Look, opening a business, we think it's a very rosy road. It's not. Firstly, when you open a business, the first challenge you are going to come across is cash flow. So you'd have a business and you can't fund it. That's the first problem. And anyway, this is a consistent problem until in such a manner that you can be able to stand on yourself. That is the first challenge. The second challenge is people knowing you to be this, and then when you present yourself as a business person, and others not taking it serious until such time that you are able to deliver accurate services to whoever and whichever your client is.
So people knowing you to be this. Please explain that thoroughly. Are you referring to you being a politician or
Yeah,
something else?
you could be people know you to be an employee or probably a politician. Now you're a businessman. Uh, so you you must convince people that you will be able to deliver to whatever the task that is given to you, or to whatever the opportunity that you seek them to give you. So those are amongst other challenges that one interfaces.
Yeah, I can imagine because a lot of people, I don't think a lot of people like do trust politicians per se, ne? And I'm not trying to be corny or whatever, but basically, when a person says I'm a politician, the first thing that pops in my mind that is that they lie.
Well, in the business world, you don't introduce yourself as a politician. In politics, you introduce yourself as a politician. In business, you introduce yourself as a business. When you go to church, if you're a pastor, you introduce yourself as a pastor. But it's the background generally that is going to determine how people treat or speak to you
Exactly.
as a person.
Now, speaking of that, how has public challenges affected you as a businessman? You know, people trend, people do things. So I want to understand, Jorge, has it been effective in your way of doing business or other approaches, or has it like closed certain doors for you?
I don't understand.
Can
you
I explain
elaborate?
thoroughly?
Yes.
So what I'm saying is, ne, as a politician, I can't like there's always like trends. Like sometimes say maybe something happens and then maybe with a post you are bad publicity. Yeah. How has bad publicity? Have you ever been in a situation of bad publicity? Let's start there.
Well, being in my shoes, being me,
Sorry.
I normally say being me is not easy. Yes, I've been in a position of a bad publicity. Unfortunately, at a business level, look, there's no bad publicity. Let's start there. And you will you will always get this bad publicity, and it's how you turn it around that will change the narrative around you. So bad publicity, yes, it affects you for a particular period, and then ultimately it works for you. It depends on how you spin it.
Okay.
It's about spinning.
So whether you're notorious or famous, you're still gonna get the deals
You will
because
get
people
it.
know, like you are relevant now to people because they know
Yes.
you. Okay. So what is so unique about you? Like taking it very unique and that makes you believe okay, this is why my business is attractive and so forth. Like what is so special about you or your business?
When you have an opportunity as a, let's say you are given a project to deliver, the unique part is the ability to deliver it to the core. So if you must deliver 10 shoes, deliver 10 shoes accurately, so in time, record time, so that you can be able to build a clientele that is able to trust you. So you must be a trustworthy individual as you do this thing of it. But what is unique about me is that I think I'm a charismatic person. So being a charismatic person, from time to time, it attracts proper people, great people around you. So that is, I think, the uniqueness.
Okay, so you did mention clientele, right? And service delivery. So you being a politician and a businessman, do you have the same qualities and priorities as a businessman when you approach politics? Like, is service delivery one of your main goals in terms of politics? Like, are you do you put enough work or just as much work as you put in your business and in politics and self-service delivery and so on.
Maybe let's change this thing from being a politician to an activist.
Okay.
Because when you say a politician, you see a person who lies a lot. Let's say I'm an activist more than anything. So I don't benefit anything in politics.
Not necessarily.
Be it a position. Yes, it builds a connection. It can build you a connection from politics to business. But I don't, as an activist, I don't benefit anything. And the reason I chose to be an activist is simply because I wanted to change lives of people. So coming back to your question, you marry activism with business, because that is why my businesses or my adventures are about services more than about anything. I mean, skills development, we need to skill so many young people in the country on education and empowerment and all that. It speaks to empowerment, so that marries into activism life, in as much as you can turn it into a business.
Please simplify your English.
Okay. I'm an activist. I believe in service delivery. I believe in empowering people. I believe in changing people's lives. In the business aspect, my interest in changing lives of people is the side of the business I choose to add to venture into. That is why I'm into the skills development terrain. I'm into construction because I believe that infrastructure must always be maintained, must always be taken care and looked after, and we need to look into other bigger major infrastructure developmental things that seeks to create employment. So activism also tallies and marries to that.
I feel like you've answered my question, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. How would you say you have given back to the community as a businessman?
So there's an NGO I'm part of called Albinism Renaissance. That is why I always say I'm an activist. So the NGO, whenever there's a need for, let's say, transport, let's say sunscreens, let's say lip balms, let's say, we come in and assist with the smaller resources that we have when we have them, whenever there's a need. So that's how that is why many businesses, that is why many corporates or cooperatives or these big firms and so forth, they always have what they call. That's why there's a Motsepe Foundation. There's a Bill Gates and the wife's foundation. It's because as you make it in the business side, you must be able to find channels on how do you give back
to the community.
My company, it's linked to the Albinism Renaissance, so we give back through that particular vehicle.
Okay. Yes. And I just remembered now that you're a person that lives with albinism. I can get why I say about myself. So I just figured out now, Hori. Actually, I feel like a lot of people would want to know about albinism, Hori. What is albinism, and you know, how do you work around it? Because I get a way to on the BBE, and is there like exceptions when only condition albinism and so forth? Please tell us a little bit about albinism.
Well, albinism is just a condition that of a person that lacks what we call melanin. So it's when a certain partner's gene with a higher I don't know what than the other partner.
That's what I don't know.
And it affects your pigmentation. So it's a person who, ideally a person with albinism, either with a what do you call white hair, with a white hair, with a different color skin pigmentation, but otherwise there's nothing wrong. But coming back to the BEE, persons with albinism in the world are declared as what you call,
Disabled.
yes, persons with disability. So on the BE aspects, it scores you better
Mm.
on deals or opportunities that are there. When they say, are you disabled? You tick on the disability, yes, because we are a person with albinism who has or has been declared a person who does not within the sector of disability.
Okay.
So it benefits you one way or the other.
So are you okay with being considered as a person with disability, seeing that the only thing that you lack is literally melanin? Like, o kgona ho tsamaya, o kgona ho bua, o jwalo ka nna. So is it okay with you to be considered a person with disability?
Well, I used to debate this thing a lot, disagreeing on the disability element. But a person with albinism lacks what we call is generally a visually impaired person. So a visually impaired person, we declare that as a disability. So for those reasons, fundamentally, we could say this person does not have has disability.
Yeah. So how would you define success, and how long would you say it took you to find it?
Well, I'm not yet successful given the challenges that one face. But success is when you have a functioning, fully 24 hours functioning company with full-time employees between 5 to 10, with 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 business, like doing business on a daily basis. So where we are currently, we're still working on those major, bigger deals, long-term deals than the short-term projects that we embark on. So that is how, in my world, I would define a successful entrepreneur.
Okay. I have two more questions for you, ne?
No
So, what have you enjoyed most about starting your own company, apart from 9 to 5, and like, what have you enjoyed most?
Traveling. Affordability to be able to travel, the ability to be able to employ somebody and pay them, the ability to afford your assets, your cars, and all that. The ability to even be able to take care of family without necessarily saying, this is all I have. When you are able to just give to that, I enjoy the giving aspect of being in business.
So, seeing that you were born and bred here, how do you think that has affected your business? Do you somehow feel, should I have been in a different city or town? Maybe Ngadegele Kgakala, or like, are you okay with being from here and making a change, go in your hometown?
If you want to make it in life, leave home. That's my motto. You want to make it in life, leave home. Home is toxic. That's my view. I'm not saying Kasi, where I'm from, is toxic, but there are no prospects of growth in that area. Not because of competition, but simply because of the mindset and mentality of the environment which we live in. So I would definitely flourish if, but business is about where the opportunity is. So currently, opportunity is here. It's home. So you must thrive there until such time you find better opportunities or bigger opportunities outside home. But home, it must just be home. It must not be a place where you think you'll make it in life.
Okay. So what do you want to say to someone out there who's watching you, who's planning on growing, like oh batlang go etsa business or go bula company ya ge, and so because we have like 30 seconds left, so please.
No, look, I encourage anybody to open a business. I mean, if you're an HR learner or student, if you are an accountant student, you can open accounting firm. HR learner, you can open an agency. Anybody can open a business, but just specialize. Have a specific specialty that you say, I'm operating in this. A lawyer can open an attorney's firm, depending on the skills that you have. Open a business based that is dependent on your skills. Then you'll flourish. You'll do very well.
Okay, Ntate Masilo Tita.
Yes.
Am I pronouncing it properly?
Correctly so.
Yeah, we are very grateful for your presence. Thank you for visiting us. Yeah, cheers.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.